Hey guys, welcome into the Sportscast brought to you by the Outspoken Network. It's your host Brian and Craig on. Craig, what's up, brother?
How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be on here. We had some good games this weekend. We're gonna talk about our three kind of takeaways from week three and give you our power rankings. I believe I beat you, Craig, by one game this week in the pick'em. So I'm one and two. You're 2-1, and I believe it was you changed. I believe it was the Cowboy Ravens game. You switched at the last second. I switched in. So the what's up, Derpy? Derpy's in here. How's it going, buddy? Someone was wrong. I'm sure we were wrong about a lot of things, but you want to fill us in on what you're talking about, Derpy? There, there's been a lot of games this year where I mean, who knows anymore? I mean, who knows anymore who's going to win these games after last week, and the week before, and upset city, and so, um, Craig, what was one of your takeaways or bullet points, if you will, from week three games?
Um, well, I'm gonna start with a kind of a surprise here. We might have trouble in paradise, even though they're 3-0. Um, the Chiefs are probably a quarter of a step by the Isaiah Lively for the Ravens, and two questionable calls away from being 0-3. So, I don't know if we have some trouble or if they'll right the ship and take these three wins and move move forward or what. But I mean, they're very easily, I can show you a path to them being 0-3 and the world being on fire with
Yeah,
it's raining in
100%
Kansas
right.
City. So that to me is something to watch going forward as the schedule starts to unravel. Um, is is there a chink in the armor of destiny
Let's hope so.
going forward?
And 100% right. And Travis Kelsey's been to an awful start, dropping passes. Um, Someone came out today, and I forgot what the guy's name, but he was talking about, can we not talk about how, you know, Travis Kelsey has been traveling the world this offseason with Taylor Swift and doing all these commercials, and has he been putting that time in with his schedule to being ready for football to start? Good question there. You're 100% right. They've got some really lucky calls, and you're a toe tap away from being at least 1-2 or 0-3. 100%. One of my takeaways this weekend was, and the Vikings may be for real. Um, they put it on the Houston Texans,
Yeah,
and it was 35-7. They put it on them like they stole something. I mean,
yeah,
and what's interesting to me is like Sam Darnold's not killing him, right? He's not throwing interceptions. He's
right.
actually making some nice throws, but it's his defensive turnaround. The Vikings defense um, for a long time has been bad, really bad. They bring in Brian Flores in the offseason, and he's turned his defense around. They're getting turnovers. They're causing a lot of 3 and outs. They're wreaking havoc and giving Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson a chance to get the field a lot. And then they add the addition of Aaron Jones, which from Green Bay, I love Aaron
Who has
Jones.
who has looked very good.
Yeah, he's looked great to go balance out that offense. You have to respect the rushing game with him. Opens up the passing lanes for Sam Darnold, and they've done a very good job as I expected them to not be so good this year. I might need to add the Vikings to the apology train. And as Derpy, I it clicked into to me, Derpy, on what you're talking about. I was wrong about the Steelers. So far, I was wrong about the Steelers. They are 3-0. What can I say? Take my foot out of my mouth. 3-0. Still don't believe Justin Fields is a good quarterback, but your head coach is amazing. If he can win with Justin Fields, um, then Mike Tomlin is great, and he's already great. We already know he's good, right? He wins. He's never had a losing season his entire career. So really good. We'll see. Season still got a long way to go. They do have one heck of a defense there. And Derpy, do you think they switch to Russell Wilson if they're 3-0 with Justin Fields? I think it's going to be hard to switch quarterbacks and be able to justify it at this point. But um,
especially if they lose once they switch.
yeah, if they switch and Russell looks bad and they lose, then
Yeah.
we're gonna have fans
Yeah.
calling for it. You got um one of my other takeaways, Craig, is uh Jaden Daniels had his come out game. Come welcome to the NFL last night. 21-23 against the Bengals. Um Leading rusher as well last night. He's able to run the ball as well and break some ankles, but he's playing smart. I see him take a lot of slides. He's not getting plastered. So that's good. He had a 91% completion percentage, was the highest of a rookie ever. A road win. They put up 38 points. Wow, he looked good last night. I was thinking that he would be the best one out of this draft class. And hopefully it's true because he's looking better than the rest right now. Caleb Williams and Bo Nix um, but yeah, Jaden Daniels came out last night and said, I have arrived to the NFL. So what's another takeaway you got, Craig?
That I believe we were maybe 2 seasons short on the Josh Allen revenge tour. I believe Josh Allen is the leading candidate for the MVP in the league right now. And I don't remember where you stood, but I stood when we ranked quarterbacks and ranked team that this team was about to blow it up and mail it in. And
I was right there with you.
They gave away all Josh Allen's weapons, and he had nobody to throw the ball to. And he's 3-0 and threw for 548 million yards and 4 touchdowns last night, and said, "Hold my beer. We're about to run the AFC East." And they are clearly in for in appear to be real, appear to be ready to make some noise in the AFC, and especially with what you have, trouble in paradise in Cincinnati, and some other things. Miami having the injuries. I think Buffalo's got a very big stronghold on the AFC East right now.
Yeah, I was right there with you. I figured that we would see a drop off from Josh Allen when not having the talent. The Bills would be imploding, and Josh Allen's taking the team on his back and looked like an MVP candidate so far this year. So add the Buffalo to that apology train at the end of the season, possibly. I know it's still early and things could fall apart, but we'll see. My third takeaway from week 3 is the Dallas Cowboys might be in some trouble here, Craig. Your defense was top 5 last year. We thought adding Zimmer would make them better, but it looks like not. They can't stop the running game. They're losing time of possession. They can't stop the teams from running the ball on them. They're one dimensional on offense. You don't have a running back room. Well, you have a running back room with multiple guys, but you don't have a good enough running back group, even though Jerry Jones says he likes the roster. Um, so you're one dimensional on offense. You put a lot of pressure on your quarterback, who now has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because he signed the $60 million contract, and he has to be able to overcome some deficiencies, and he hasn't done that yet through 3 weeks. So there was a lot of bickering on the sidelines. Week 3, you had CeeDee Lamb throwing a fit on the sidelines. You had Parsons and Lawrence going at it after the end of the game. So maybe a little trouble with Dallas. Now you're gonna you don't lose to the Giants on Thursday. Dak Prescott does not lose to the Giants. But if you lose to the Giants on Thursday, the building will burn.
What happens, Brian?
The building will be burning down. Fans will be losing their minds.
Okay, so I've seen this before, and I don't know if you remember Wade Phillips, but the team has quit on he's lost the locker room, and you've seen this in Green Bay, and you called it the night it happened with McCarthy in Green Bay. And I'm telling you right now, if they lose in New York on Thursday night, he will not be back on the plane to come back to Dallas on Friday morning because they will leave him in New York.
Yeah,
that is a bad football team, and you have Lamb over on the sideline. Get me the effing ball. When I mean the play he was arguing about, they were getting him the ball. It just he got mugged in the end zone, and it should have been 1st and goal on the 1-inch yard line, except for the left tackle decided to tackle a guy because he was about to unload on your quarterback. And the reason he didn't throw the ball further into the end zone is because he had a 310-pound lineman dragging on his ankles when he threw it. And we do get and CD, when we do get you the ball, you carry it like a loaf of bread and you fumble it on the 4-yard line, and you cost us 7 points. Put the thing away where it belongs instead of carrying it out here, just bouncing it around, and the guy taps it and it falls out of your hands. So you did not see this in any time, form, or fashion last year. And their Lamb's going after the quarterback. Parsons and Tank Lawrence are on the sideline going at each other because they can't stop a nosebleed on defense, and Parsons vows that last week will not happen again, and they come out and score 28 before you can blink your eyes.
Yeah, they can't stop the run, man.
You played a little different. You played a little bit better the second half, but when you needed a stop and you knew what they were going to do, you couldn't stop them. You knew they were going to run. You knew they were going to run Henry. You knew they were going to run Lamar Jackson in on the last possession of the game, and you couldn't stop them.
And Lamar tried to give it away in the 4th. Couldn't get a first down.
100%. Couldn't get a first
like
down.
Like yours, like normal.
Throws a pass out in the flat that Diggs should have jumped and ran to the house on the
that
final
ball was
in
the air for a long time.
A long time. And where's Diggs? He's trying to, just run through it like you always do. You jump every other route you've ever had and you ever seen. Well, jump that one and the game's over. And so, yeah, that's a problem.
And I was at the game Sunday. I talked about it on Saturday.
Probably could have heard a pin drop in that stadium after it was 21-3.
It was one of the quietest I've seen, yes. But also, they were booing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We don't.
So.
Yeah, exactly. But I was kind of shocked because you don't see that here a lot. Like you see it in Philly and you see it in New York, right? But I was like, okay, they're booing, and the play call, who's calling this offense? If it's Mike McCarthy, it is bad.
It is.
It's 3rd and 9, and you throw a little 1-yard pass to Zeke, which is not going to get you. He's not going to get you 9 yards, and then the throw was so far behind him he couldn't even catch it. Anyways,
Because
Dak
it's a jailbreak and a turnstile in every play.
Dak
The
Dak was
offensive
off.
line looked better for the first couple weeks, but did not look great at all. We had 17 penalties, and you're tackling people to try to protect your quarterback from just getting unloaded on. And there's no time. There's no like I said, you pin your ears back on every play and blitz because you know what's coming. You know they're passing. You know that they have no way of doing anything but passing.
Yeah. Or you play two deep safeties
Right.
and that's
Put
it. I
somebody
mean,
over the top of Lamb, bracket Lamb. Now,
you get
I think I saw something that I need to see more of in the fourth quarter, and that's Cavante Turpin on the other side of the field, taking the top off the defense and running down the field. And I believe Brandon Cooks is time is numbered, or putting
MIA.
Turpin
That guy.
Turpin in the slot and letting him run some slants and Prescott stepped up the line and sees Turpin and signals to him on the last touchdown of the game and says, "Hey, you go beat that guy," and he does. The problem with Cavante Turpin has always been can he hold on to the ball when you get it to him. He had a couple big drops and
other than Lamb and your tight end, your wide receiver core is a non-existence pretty much. I mean,
yeah, Tolbert and Jalen Tolbert, whoever the guy was that fell down.
The rookie
Ferguson fell down again on a route. So my question is, did we do something to the turf at home that we got our wide receivers that can't keep their own feet? Derrick Henry fell down, there in the fourth quarter when he tried to jump cut and go back to the hole, and he fell down. So keep an eye on that later in the season. Is that turf is something different with the turf that guys are falling and can't keep their feet.
What is another one of your takeaways from week 3, Craig?
Houston, we have a problem. There's trouble in Cincinnati, and Zach Taylor is right behind Mike McCarthy on the "you might be fired before your bye week" train. Do I blame it all on him? No, but you just lost to a team in the Commanders that probably isn't ready yet, and that you probably should have beat talent wise. You have enough Jamar Chase, Zach Moss, a defense that you want to talk about can't stop anything right now.
T. Higgins.
Yeah.
I mean,
so yeah, I don't know what like you played kind of swing for swing with the Chiefs, so you kind of thought that hey, maybe okay, we look at your schedule, you have 5 winnable games coming up. You have a struggling Ravens team. You have the Commanders. You have, I think they played the Giants. Anyway, their next 5 games were super winnable, and you were like, well, hold on, they could be 5-2. Now they're 0-3, and really don't have a light at the end of the tunnel that they're coming out of.
Right.
And now that the Steelers are 3-0, now you're very much behind the 8 ball, and that's a 6-game swing. Granted, you get to play them twice, so if you can beat them both times, that helps tremendously. But you're not beating the Pittsburgh Steelers right now the way you're playing football.
Here's where we see. Here's where we see Joe Burrow's worth.
Right. Yeah. Is he really the second best quarterback in football behind Mahomes? Or is Josh Allen really that guy and Burrow lower in the tier?
Yeah, because right now it seems like Josh Allen and everybody else. I mean, he's been putting on a show. I do have one more kind of thought that maybe it was Bryce Young in Carolina. Andy Dalton comes in here, scores 36 points with the same team, same offense, puts up 300 something yards, 3 touchdowns, and they go out and beat the Raiders blow out the Raiders pretty good, and everyone's going, well, maybe it was Bryce Young. Maybe it was. It
The Raiders.
is the Raiders, but who saw that coming? The same team, 36 points. Andy Dalton was throwing some dimes, but maybe it was the fact that he's got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose.
You're
I'm
playing with
throwing
house
everything
money,
today.
right?
House money. So we'll see. But yeah, and the biggest thing too with Bryce Young is they talk about his height, and he looks like he has to jump and throw at the same time to see over the whole offensive line. But I'm
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's
he's not smaller than Kyle Murray, is he? I mean, like Kyle
almost
Murray
the
has no
same
problem.
height. Got small hands. The measurables at the combine. You know, when you don't throw at your own combine, there's a reason for that.
Yeah. All right, guys, those were our takeaways. You got any more? You got any more bullet points, takeaways there, Craig, from week 3?
No, I'm sure I could go on and on and on, but I think those are the biggest
The major
ones.
takeaways. All right, we're gonna get into our power rankings now. This thing's been all over the place the first 3 weeks. Number 1, I still got the Chiefs there now. The Chiefs will not stay there if they continue this lackluster play. Cat, sorry, but I mean, I know they're winning, but they're not winning convincingly. Their offense doesn't look all that great. But hey, you've been there before. It was last year, and you won the Super Bowl. So I still got the Chiefs there, Craig. Or you still have the Chiefs at number 1,
Um,
or do you switch it up?
I guess probably for one more week, but the team that is lurking is right behind him and very close, like 1A.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same one here, and I got the Buffalo Bills number 2. I don't think
Yeah.
you can have anybody else there.
Well, I
Um,
mean, one other team, but
the Bills are, I mean, Josh Allen's just taking it by storm, and just I'm
right.
gonna win it. I'm putting it on my
And
back.
with nobody, and with nobody, you got rid of your top two wide receivers, and your running game is kind of better than it was the last couple years, but not great, not earth shattering. You know, it's not they didn't go get um
Yeah, they didn't go get nobody. They lost a good wide receiver.
two good wide receivers,
So
Diggs and the other guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The deep threat.
Cat says keep the trash talk. The more you do, the more they win. I don't think it's really trash talk. I think if you watch the team this year, you can't. You can see that the offense hasn't
I
been
mean,
that great.
clearly, this game. I mean, the defensive back is got his back turned, not looking back for the football,
Runs
and
right
it
through the tight
almost
end.
almost tackles the guy in the end zone. They're like, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I
that's
can't
pass.
stand it.
That's the
Can't stand it.
definition of pass interference. If you look it up in the in the dictionary and the rule book, and they just didn't. They overlooked it, and
Who do you got at number 3, Craig?
Minnesota.
I'm the same.
Yeah, I can't. We talked about that we thought maybe this would be the week that they'd stumble because of Houston being what we thought. I mean, here we are. I thought Houston. I had them at 2 last week. I thought they were rolling, and I figured they'd roll right into Minnesota and take care of business, and they didn't. They look. I mean, they got just dominated on both sides of the football,
Yeah,
and
dominant.
yeah,
Stroud didn't look good.
yeah. Stroud didn't look. Stroud looked like the rookie that he might have been, um, and so yeah. I think
Sophomore slump,
you made a.
maybe.
I mean, he hadn't lit the world on fire, but he put points up the first 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
they'd won, and so maybe we'll see. But there is tape on you now. There
Yeah.
is some things to look at where you didn't have that all in his rookie season. So we'll see. I mean, because that division's not easy. So I mean, we'll see if they start to stumble down the stretch here. But right now, Minnesota, that was you know Jacksonville, we're not a big fan of Jacksonville, so the Buffalo win was like, okay, Allen's for real because of his stats, but I wasn't shocked that they blew Jacksonville out of the water.
Yeah.
I was shocked that Minnesota dominated Houston on both sides of the ball. That was a huge win. You know, when I walk in the door and it's 14-0, you know, before I could turn the game on, I was like, huh, what? You know, so yeah, those are the best three teams in my opinion, clearly ahead of the pack around the deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Vikings are up there because I don't need them to be. But I've got the Lions at number 4.
Right.
There's
That was a big win. Arizona, like I said, Arizona had kind of been there. Arizona and Seattle the last couple of years had been their kryptonite. Kyler Murray is you know normally gives them fits, and the Lions are just fun to watch out here running hook and ladders and
well balanced,
well balanced,
aggressive.
Yeah,
so all the way around.
Run through a wall for the coach. You know, talk about like night and day. Whereas Dallas, you don't feel that the coach has any control of the team. You feel that the guy in Detroit has full control, and that they would do whatever, even if they question. We're going for it on fourth and whatever. We're gonna fake punt. We're gonna do this. A lot of players start to question that, and they just don't question Campbell at all in Detroit. They just go, "Yeah, this guy's got our vote, and we're gonna go and do whatever he says we'll go do." So
is that where you have the Lions as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow. All right. Well, you go ahead with your number 5 team. I don't think we're gonna have the same one, but we'll see.
You have to be. If you're Green Bay, you have to be extremely happy with what your backup quarterback, who did not know the offense, has come in and given you, with probably, I think Love comes back this week, but maybe one more week. But if you would have after the Brazil game, I'd have told you, you'd have been sitting here going into week 4, you'd have been 2-1.
Yeah.
You'd have been like, sign me up. Where do I sign for that deal? So because in that division you can't get behind Lions and what appears to be a good Vikings team. If you were 1-2 or 0-3 right now, you'd be in a lot of trouble. So I think I have to give the Green Bay Packers credit for what they've done, and that they may be contenders when they're with their backup quarterback, who like I said, who was only traded there 3 days before the start of the season and was thrown into the fire. That to me is impressive.
I like it. Yes, this last week, we beat the Colts. We barely beat them. We played a better defense in Tennessee, and we put a stomping on them. It was defensive minded. Willis has been good. Good enough to keep us going. We have the most rushing yards in the league right now. Jacobs has been going off. I like it. Last year we had 7 interceptions all season. We have 7 interceptions through 3 weeks. Our defensive coach has got them playing really well right now. So I'm glad you have him there.
Playing Will Levis helps.
Yeah, Will Levis will help that. He threw a horrible pass, and Alexander jumped the route like Diggs should have and took it back for 6. And you have 3 of our division in top 5. So I like it, but I don't like it because it means we have a tough division. But Ryan says,
yeah, Ryan, I'm not real sure. I know that I'm not an Amari Cooper fan right now because I had him in fantasy for the first 2 weeks and he had no points, and I put him on the bench and he goes for 25. So Amari Cooper can kick rocks right now for me. You need something on the other side of Lamb and Brandon Cooks is not the answer. Like I said, Kevontae Turpin. Kevontae Turpin might be the answer. I'm not sure. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Tolbert to me needs to learn how to run routes and catch football. But
Jacobs is shown right now that he's better than Jones. I mean, he's leading the league right now in rushing yards. So I'll
not
take
by
it.
much. But I mean, they're the two best running backs in the NFC.
Like I didn't want Jones to go, but he did, and he went to Minnesota on a 1-year deal. Jacobs is what he's been doing for us has worked great. So I can't complain one bit. My number 5 team in our power rankings is the Eagles. I got the Eagles there. They went out and they beat the Saints, who's been on a hot one. They beat the Saints without their best wide receiver. Their other wide receiver got knocked out during the game on the road. Hurts tried to give the game away again with his interceptions.
My question is how does that play happen?
What play?
You're 1:05 away from winning the football game. It's 3rd and 1,000, and you let the tight end go for 67 yards.
Down
and
the
three defensive backs run into each other and fall down like the Bad News Bears out there.
Yeah.
And they tackle each other, and Dallas Goedert goes running down the sideline with no one around.
Yeah.
How? Like I mean, that makes you question. That makes you question the validity of some of these games. Like that doesn't happen in the NFL.
Well, they're I don't know the defensive coordinator is the Saints. Their offensive coordinator has been doing something really good with their motion and everything.
I understand that, but
But
listen, I mean, that looked like Diggs running down the sideline. Oh, who was that on? New Orleans, FY.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing what should have been a prevent defense. Here's a tight end running a drag on 3rd and 9, just trying to get something to live another day, and goes for 70 because nobody's around him and the 3 defensive backs run into each other and fall down.
Yeah.
Unheard
of. No, I agree. But the Saints didn't look too good. You got to give credit to Vic Fangio. From Vic Fangio.
Their offense was abysmal.
Yeah.
I mean, Raheem Shaheed had no catches.
Vic Fangio had a good game plan.
Everybody for.
Yeah. He had a good game plan for the Saints. They couldn't do much. The defensive line from the Eagles is good. I got to put him there because we thought the Saints were so good, and the Eagles went on the road and beat them.
Right. And I mean, I'm going to tell you right now that if the Eagles come into Dallas with Saquon Barkley running the way he's running,
you don't want that right
500.
Now. Yeah, you don't want that right now. He probably is the best pickup of the offseason. The way he started,
he's averaging over 200 yards a game. He's got 7, 8 touchdowns already in 3 games.
Yeah, he's gonna go to New York and they're gonna be pissed because he's gonna go off on him.
Right.
Yeah,
he's gonna remember. He's gonna remember that game. That game circled on the calendar. I promise you that. Especially the one in New York.
Now Ryan said Watson is trash. I don't know if he's talking about. My guess is.
I'm assuming.
I'm assuming he's talking about we were talking about Green Bay. I'm assuming he's talking about Watson, our wide receiver.
Yeah.
Um, let's say he's trash, but no, he's not lived up to the hype. Definitely. If he's not on this team next year, then I don't think we bat an eye at it. But he's been injured a lot. He's been healthy this year, but where the hell has he been? But we'll see with healthy Love. I think you're right. I think he comes back this next week. We're playing Minnesota. They're playing Minnesota. And we'll see. Divisional games are tighter than and Alexander's always played Justin Jefferson pretty good.
And Aaron Jones is going to have a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. So this ought to be a good one. It's a question mark for the Vikings. Is Sam Darnold going to play with his knee?
They said he's not going to miss time, but keep an eye on that injury to where it affects his effectiveness and if he doesn't make some of the throws.
Yeah. Hopefully we get after him and make him run on it all day long. So our defense has looked pretty good. I know we haven't played all that.
The question is, can he put the weight on it to the torque on it to throw the ball deep to Jefferson, and that's been a big part of the offense. And if you can't do that, then that kind of dumbs that down.
One of the funniest things that I take away from week 3, and I'm never going to let the Bears fans let it down. The Packers beat the Colts last week with our backup quarterback, and Caleb Williams couldn't beat the Colts.
Right.
Oh, I laughed so hard at that. Watch out, the Bears fans might be on suicide watch because building be burning down because
Caleb Williams has no protection, no time, no running game.
And even when he's had that time,
right,
his throws have been off. I mean,
right.
So I'm not saying and he threw for 300 yards on Sunday. But
and the play calling, that offensive coordinator,
Eberflus?
No, the offensive coordinator, Luke. I don't know
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So that's hilarious because I love making fun of the Bears fans. So
right, yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that is the show tonight. Kind of a shorter episode, which is fine by me. We'll be back on Saturday. Give you our predictions of going in for week 4, and any headlines that happen between now and then. And we'll have the whole crew on, me, Craig, and Jeff. Come follow us on our shows. Like us, share us. We're on the Outspoken Network on YouTube, and we also have the podcast on YouTube as well. If you have YouTube Music, you could podcast as well. But that is the episode tonight. God bless, guys, and remember,